Morning everyone. I misread the calendar on the last video. Today is Tuesday the 14th of May. That one was about simple things, simple life in the Philippines. This one, there's things, TV shows and things that the Philippines remind me of. Try to describe my experience here in the province, Iloilo. And I just come up a big hill and I was following this man and woman. He had a big 40-pound bag of grain or something on his head, no hands, balancing, walking up this hill. And I'm trying to follow him and keep up. I'm just sucking wind, and yeah, very different. So some things, TV shows that the Philippines reminds me of. Some of you people here in the Philippines may have never heard of them, but I suggest maybe you YouTube it or Google them, because it reminds me of the Philippines to some degree, a little bit from each one. And people in America, if you're 40, 50, 60, you've probably watched them when you were kids. So one of them is called Walton's Mountain. It's about a family that lived in, I think it was for West Virginia or something, one of the Virginias, or just say West Virginia. And they were a poor mountain family, and how the family, stuck together. John Boy or so got into trouble or needed money, because money was always an issue, and there's some trouble of some kind. How the family would pull together and save and work together as a team to try to, solve that issue on each episode. So that reminds me of the Philippines, how families stick together. And every night, they'd end the TV show with the family, showing the lights in the bedroom, and they would say, goodbye, good night, Aaron, good night, John Boy, good night, Grandma, Grandpa. They all lived together in the same house, and they talked to each other every night when the work was done and the day was done and everybody was safe and sound. They sat down and shared a meal and talked about the day and what happened, and stuff like that. And that's pretty much exactly what's happening to me here in the Philippines with the family I'm with. Every evening about 6:30, 7 o'clock, they sit down outside under the stars and talk about this or that and share the events or what their plans are. So I'll just pan around here and take a little break, show you the countryside. So this is where I came up from on the trail here. And I'm kind of on the side in the middle of two big hill ranges. So that show reminds me of that. Once again, it's called The Waltons. Another show that's very similar is Little House on the Prairie, which there's a movie and a book. Laura Wilde England, whatever her last name is. It's another little TV show that was on once a week. They still play it on cable and stuff. So that very similar thing, a prairie family that lived on the prairie. That's why it's called Little House on the Prairie. And the nearby town, trying to think of what the name is. Maybe help me out in the comments there. So I'll think of it probably after I quit talking here. But Walton Grove, Walton's Grove. And how the town and community, pulled together once again. If the bank burned down, if the church burned down, the whole town would chip in some money and come and rebuild it. And that's the type of things that happen here. Family kind of sticks together in the community, and they work together to achieve things. And that's another show. A little bit to the left of that is which more comedic. But again, it's a simple family trying to adjust to the modern life, was the Beverly Hillbillies. So it's a little bit like that, where you have people living in the past and knowing what they know and living, and then you can go to Iloilo and there's a mall, you know, you think you're in any mall in America. So it's just as nice, if not nicer. So, and then you take a person that comes from the province out here, a native person, and that gets their water from the ground and hand does all the work. It's like you know, living in Beverly Hills, which is what the show's about, the Beverly Hillbillies, a poor mountain family that struck oil, and they moved to Beverly Hills in California, where all the rich people live. And you have all these modern fancy things, and they don't know what to do with it or how to adjust, because they're used to, you know, just a simple lifestyle. So that's another kind of show that reminds me of. But that kind of sums up the Philippines for me, my experience. You know, I've been to Manila a couple times. I've been to Iloilo, probably 6 times or so, maybe 8. And other than that, I've just been living out here in the province. So walking the mountains and talking to the locals and native people, and met the chief of the native people over at Nagapana Falls. I think I said that right. And so I just thought that was interesting. Wanted to share my what I would compare it to, or how it reminds me of. So now, certainly, like I said, if you live in a city and that's all you see, and you're in a Makati over near Manila, a total different experience probably. So here's a little place they just built. So out of most of it's, you know, local stuff, bamboo and some wood. Of course, they got the metal from town. And here's another cement hollow block structure they've been working on, so which cost more, so it takes more time and to make, because you got to make more money. Because when you get the bamboo, you just walk right here, and that's native bamboo. There's 3 or 4 or 5 variety here, and you just walk out and cut and make you something else. Hopefully the wind's not too bad coming down the hill here. And there's another place over there at the bottom. They just made that too. These 2 places that we just passed are all new, and that one is as well. And then there's one across the valley there. I'll see if I can zoom in. So it's pretty cool. And I talked to all the families here. I don't overly socialize, but we stop and talk and say hi to each other. Kids come out and say hi and follow me up the hill. So then over here on the right, that's where they do their laundry and stuff. They have a whole dugout and some rocks piled up, and they sit there and, you know, wash clothes, and made themselves something shady so they're more comfortable. So that's province life. Got a couple ducks in there, and then this is the spring water that comes down out of the mountain, and that's how they're able to wash their clothes, with some water. So, and there's like I said, the newer house, but it's got the old, you know, some older metal they've salvaged somewhere, so somebody's living there now. There's a garden out there in the field, so that's a garden. Looks like they got some squash and stuff like that. So, morning. So, and there is electricity out here, where I think it runs up on the hill. There's a power pole right there, so you can kind of see the lines there in between the trees if you look real close. So there is electricity out here. Now, some places probably don't have it, but I would say most places on the island do have it nowadays. But there probably are some definitely some remote places that may not have it here. So Well, that's my time on that. So that's how ways I would describe the Philippines. So thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Please share and like, and have your stories as well. I like to hear everybody's story. Thanks for watching.